My name is Daniel Mercer, and 3 years ago I thought I'd found peace in the quiet hills of Cedar Ridge, Colorado. Nestled between pine-covered slopes and crisp mountain air, this 2.3-acre plot was more than land. It was sanctuary. After losing my wife, Emily, to cancer, I needed stillness. She'd always dreamed of growing vegetables for local food pantries, a quiet act of kindness even when her body failed her. So I bought this place not just for me, but for her memory. Every seed I planted, every harvest I donated to 200 pounds monthly felt like keeping a promise. Cedar Ridge Estates marketed itself as rural charm meets modern standards. Most residents loved the manicured lawns, matching mailboxes, and HOA approved everything. I didn't care about aesthetics. I just wanted to garden in silence. With only the wind and birds as company. Then came Patricia Langley. Patricia, 47, newly elected HOA president, arrived like a hurricane in stilettos. Her silver Lexus gleamed under streetlights like polished steel. Former California realtor, obsessed with property value optimization and visual cohesion, she carried an iPad and laser measurer like sidearms. Always dressed in pressed linen, even on Saturday mornings during compliance walks. Her first target? My rainwater barrels. I'd installed 6 custom 55-gallon containers, legal under Colorado's century-old water rights tied to my deed from 1943. They fed my garden, saved municipal water, and honored Emily's dream. To Patricia, they were eyesores violating aesthetic harmony. The war began at dawn. I stumbled outside in sweatpants to find her standing beside my driveway. Tape measure in hand, clipboard tucked under one arm. But measuring wasn't enough. Before I could speak, she swung a crowbar. Crack. One barrel shattered. Crack. Another. She moved methodically, grinning through streaks of bright orange industrial paint she'd sprayed across each container moments before. Hundreds of gallons gushed out, swirling into a toxic river that soaked my bare feet, cold, slimy, reeking of chemicals and malice. She paused mid-swing, paint dripping off her blazer, and smiled. What would you do? I yelled toward my security camera. If someone attacked your property with a crowbar at sunrise? Drop your wildest HOA horror story in the comments. Where are you watching from? Does your state let HOA presidents commit felony vandalism? I thought collecting rainwater was environmental responsibility. Turns out, it was the opening salvo in a $15,000 battle won. Never saw coming. Patricia's crusade escalated fast. First came the Environmental Compliance Committee. 3 neighbors trailing behind her like disciples, clipboards raised like shields. Floral perfume clashed violently with the earthy scent of my basil and tomatoes. Mr. Mercer, she announced, tapping her manicured nails against my screen door. We need to discuss your water situation. She handed me a 47-page addendum to HOA bylaws, drafted after a special meeting. I mysteriously never received notice for. Rainwater attracts mosquitoes, she declared, ignoring my filtration systems, $500 impact fee, plus $50 month monitoring charge. Democracy, a show, style, here's what burned, my retirement income, $2,400 per month. Medical bills had drained our savings. This land was all I had left. Moving wasn't an option. Missing payments meant foreclosure, but Patricia made one fatal mistake. She didn't know. I spent 30 years designing municipal irrigation systems across Colorado, that I understood water law better than most judges. Or that buried in my tool shed was a dusty folder labeled Property Survey 1943. Inside? Documents that changed everything. Water pressure, I whispered, touching Emily's wedding ring around my neck. You have no idea what real water pressure looks like. Patricia struck again. Thursday, this time with her secret weapon, Gregory Langley, her brother-in-law and the HOS attorney. Gregory looked like he stepped out of a legal thriller, slicked back hair, suit costing more than my monthly pension, cologne thick enough to choke on. You're violating state regulations and HOA covenants, he announced, snapping legal papers like whips in the morning breeze. They brought a surveyor's tape, measured every barrel, took GPS-tagged photos, documented which plants I watered and when. $200 daily fines start now. Gregory said, smirking. Drain these within 48 hours or we begin foreclosure. Absurdity reached new heights. They measured diameters, heights, capacities, like NASA calculating rocket fuel. Patricia logged which veggies I grew, claiming they violated ornamental landscaping requirements, while they played inspector. I noticed my mail carrier, Ray Navarro, lingering nearby after they left. He approached grimly. "She's targeting others too," he whispered. Margaret Lynn got cited for bird feeders. Tom Kellerman for parking his work truck. Elena Ruiz for her kids. Playground being wrong colors. It clicked. This wasn't random enforcement. It was systematic. Harassment, designed to force people out. Time for my counterattack, Friday afternoon. I camped at the county library, surrounded by musty legal volumes smelling of forgotten justice. Librarian Mrs. Evelyn helped me dig through Colorado water law databases. What I found made my engineer's heart race. Colorado's Prior Appropriation Doctrine. First in time, first in right. Water rights are property rights, transferable with deeds, unbreakable by later agreements. My 1943. Senior rights superseded any HOA covenant, period. Grandpa's ranch collected water decades before this neighborhood existed. Gregory's. Law degree apparently skipped. Constitutional Water Law 101. I filed a formal complaint with Colorado Water Court Friday. Then installed security cameras because something told me. Patricia wouldn't take this lying down. I was right. Saturday night footage showed Patricia and Gregory sneaking onto my property at 2 a.m., flashlights in hand. Clipboards ready. Old fool doesn't know we can foreclose for persistent violations. Patricia hissed. "Just document everything," Gregory replied. Once we hit $15,000 in fines, we forced the sale. They were building a fraudulent case in. Darkness. Click of Gregory's tape measure sounded like handcuffs, but they made one crucial error. They thought I was just another retiree who'd roll over. Sunday morning, I called Margaret Lynn. Time to build my army. Patricia panicked. Monday morning, emergency HOA board meeting. Voted 3-2, Patricia, Gregory, friend Linda versus two sane neighbors. New rule, immediate violation resolution protocol. Translation, steal Dan's house faster, unpaid fines. Now 18% monthly interest, compounded daily. Thursday, thick stack of legal papers hit my mailbox like a tombstone. Gregory, filed foreclosure paperwork as preventive measure, he claimed. Oily smile intact. Lean slapped on my property like a scarlet letter. Metallic taste of panic filled my mouth. But Patricia's real talent? Character assassination. Whisper campaign launched. I was mentally unstable, hoarding water like a prepper. My tomatoes. Biological hazards. Even reported me to county health department for unsanitary storage. Inspector arrived Thursday. Barrels passed perfectly. Damage done. I became the crazy old man ruining the neighborhood. Safety bulletins warned of West Nile virus. Wine and cheese concerned citizen. Meetings at Patricia's. Insurance. Companies flagged my address. High risk. Weaponized community politics with surgical precision. Meanwhile, I built my counteroffensive. Margaret answered Sunday call like she'd been waiting. Retired patent attorney. Honey badger tenacity. Supreme Court level knowledge. Jake, wait. Sorry, Daniel. She corrected herself, voice crackling with glee. Want to hear something delicious about Patricia's election? Tuesday evening. Kitchen table covered in coffee-stained documents. Colorado requires 10% resident quorum for major votes. Patricia's water vote. 23 out of 312 residents present. Not even close. Invalid votes can't override. Constitutional rights. Period. My own digging revealed juicier intel. Weeks calling. California contacts painted picture. Patricia facing personal bankruptcy. Failed investments. Leased Lexus, underwater mortgage. Business surviving on commission fumes. She wasn't harassing neighbors for power. She was creating forced sales for survival cash. Tom Kellerman and Elena Ruiz joined. Wednesday resistance meeting. Tom's construction biz gave insight into property manipulation. Elena's county planning job provided access to development apps. Together, we realized we weren't random targets. We were victims of coordinated property theft. Classic scam. Create problems gives force. Desperate solutions gives profit from chaos. Thursday's security footage delivered smoking gun. At 3 a.m. Patricia crept across my yard carrying household bleach like Suburban. Terrorist methodically contaminated each barrel. Audio gold. We need him gone before other owners discover the development deal. Development deal. Pulse hammered. Chemical fumes destroyed weeks of rainwater. But her confession? Worth every drop? This wasn't about water anymore. It was about systematic community destruction for profit. Time to teach her about real water. Pressure. Patricia went nuclear. Organized neighborhood safety forum at community center. Folding chairs arranged like tribunal. Projector screen screaming authority. County officials, police, local media. PowerPoint titled Hidden Dangers of Unregulated Water Collection. Charts, graphs, doctored photos making my setup look like Chernobyl. Digitally edited images showed barrels overflowing during phantom storms, flooding neighbors with toxic runoff. Concerned citizens have a right to protect their investments, she told Channel 7 News. Crisp blazer glowing under lights while I looked like eccentric uncle everyone avoids. Media manipulation reached artistry. Flyers appeared overnight. Stop the water hoarder before he destroys our community. Professional print. Serious money. Personal attacks escalated. Truck tires slashed at grocery store. Sell and leave. Spray painted on mailbox. Same orange paint. Then came her false emergency masterpiece during elegant dinner party. Saturday night she called 911. Toxic chemical odors wafting from Mr. Mercer's property. Fire trucks. Hazmat teams. Sirens wailing treated my zucchini patch like Superfund site. No chemicals found. Spectacle dominated Monday's paper. Water collection sparks emergency response. My counterpunch. Patient documentation. Cameras now blanketed property. Captured midnight visits from Patricia's sabotage. Crew. Her teenage son Tyler developed criminal resume. Dumping fish. Pouring bleach. Spreading fertilizer to create algae blooms. Audio prosecution grade gold. Gregory coaching via earpiece. Make it smell worse. Don't leave fingerprints. These people watch too many crime shows. Margaret's legal excavation revealed conspiracy. Elena suspected, buried in county records. Cedar Ridge commercial development application pending approval. Required 85% resident buy-in. Or forced individual sales above market rate. Patricia's failing realty firm held exclusive sales contracts worth millions in commissions. She's not harassing random neighbors, Elena explained, spreading blueprints across Tom's garage workbench. She's eliminating opposition to biggest payday of her career, community fractured in Patricia's favor, until her safety forum backfired when neighbors asked technical questions. She deflected with emotional manipulation. Tom demolished her claims with engineering facts. My water tests. Cleaner than tap water. 3 more targeted neighbors approached us afterward. Identical. Harassment patterns. Anyone with valuable land or strong ties. Full Patricia treatment. Coordinated assault to break resistance and force sales. Margaret filed ethics complaint against Gregory. Colorado Bar Association investigated obvious conflict of interest. Brother-in-law attorneys can't represent HOAs while profiting from displacement. His law degree skipped. Ethics 101. Smoking gun came from Ray. My mailman quietly documented Gregory's violation deliveries for months. Every citation sent to highest development value properties. Pattern proved systematic targeting. Friday evening, I watched Patricia's crew install giant white tent for tomorrow's garden party. Catering trucks. Sound equipment. Elegant tables. All positioned perfectly. In natural floodplain. Tomorrow's investor presentation would announce neighborhood-wide development approval. Denver execs expected. Signatures. Champagne. Guaranteed. Profits. They were about to get water education. Instead. Saturday morning. Discovery that changed everything. Margaret arrived at dawn clutching manila folder like holy grail. Retired patent attorney. Instincts led her down legal rabbit hole. Surface pure. Dynamite. Daniel, she whispered, spreading yellowed documents across my table. You don't just own water rights. You control the entire neighborhood's water. Destiny. Original 1943. Ranch deed buried under decades of dust. Granted my property riparian rights to Cedar Creek. Upstream. Including full authority over flow, and distribution. Legal language from frontier era. When water meant life or death. My 2.3 acres included control of century-old earthen dam upstream. That dam created lake feeding every fountain, pond, irrigation system in Cedar Ridge, every green lawn, every promised lakefront opportunity. All existed at my discretion. Perpetual easement for irrigation and flood control. Margaret read from cracked parchment smelling of leather and forgotten power. These rights are senior to all developments. HOA covenants, municipal regs, constitutional bombshell detonated in my chest. Prior appropriation carved in granite since statehood. HOA. Incorporation illegally ignored existing easements. Gregory deliberately omitted protections during filing. Gambling nobody would dig deep enough. Saturday afternoon, Margaret and I hiked quarter-mile upstream. Pine trees, granite outcroppings. Rushing water louder with each step. Found simple earthen structure. Manual release gates. 2 concrete channels controlled by hand-cranked steel wheels, green with neglect, standing on spillway. Felt 2.8 million gallons pressing against century-old engineering. Vibration thrummed through boots like massive heartbeat. Those innocent-looking gates could legally flood lower neighborhood during irrigation season, defined by my deed as any time deemed necessary for agricultural purposes. Technical reality made engineer soul sing. This wasn't revenge fantasy. Colorado law mandated annual dam maintenance for structural safety, neglecting pressure relief. Risked catastrophic failure, obliterating neighborhood instead of temporarily educating it. I wasn't choosing destruction. I was fulfilling legal obligations, protecting everyone. Timing. Poetry written by water gods. Clear skies forecast. Patricia's garden party. Saturday. 3:30 p.m. Dead center of historical flood zone. My required maintenance. Whenever structural integrity demands. Standing there, palms on release wheels. Moral framework crystallized. This wasn't destroying community. It was teaching. Difference between respecting rights and exploiting for profit. Margaret's docs confirmed. My authority superseded every HOA restriction, municipal reg, property covenant. Water rights equals constitutional bedrock. No private org could override. Irony almost made me laugh. Patricia weaponized water regs against me while her empire floated on water. I controlled. Tomorrow's investor pitch promised exclusive lakefront opportunities to people standing in floodplain I could activate with will turn. She picked wrong neighbor. Tomorrow, everyone learns about prior appropriation. Unforgettable way. Time to open floodgates of justice. Margaret's dining room became war room. Saturday night. Legal docs. Topo maps. Battle plans on mahogany table. Scent of Colombian coffee mixed with musty county records. Tom. Arrived with elevation charts making irrigation engineer heart sing. Elena brought county code recs for dam maintenance. Official proof shielding us from backlash. Blueprints familiar under calloused fingers as we map details. Dam operation isn't rocket science, I explained, tracing flood patterns. Earthen structures need annual pressure release. Basic engineering since 1943. Photo collection from 1995. Spring flooding showed legitimate seasonal flow covering exact party location. Back when I designed municipal systems. Learned proper management prevents catastrophic failures killing people. This wasn't revenge. It was responsible infrastructure maintenance with perfect timing. Margaret filed formal prior water rights assertion, with county ironclad paper trail proving good faith. Crisp sound of official stamps felt like justice finding voice. Every signature created protection. Gregory couldn't challenge. Elena suggested selective. Neighbor notification, courtesy plus liability shield, targeted families with kids, elderly. 48-hour evacuation notices framed as precautionary safety measures. Goal, zero human risk. Max educational impact. Tom's crew provided pro gear, portable pumps, emergency comes. Generators for gate ops, metallic clank of tools sounded like orchestra tuning. Safety protocol? Military precise. Tom mapped basement zones needing evacuation. Elena coordinated with county EMS who thought this was routine work. Margaret drafted liability docs shielding us from damaged lawsuits. Timing choreography. Clockwork beautiful. Thursday 6 a.m. Legal notice posting begins. Thursday 8 a.m. Direct neighbor notifications. Friday 3 p.m. Media briefing Water rights demo. Saturday 2:45 p.m. Final safety check. Saturday 3 p.m. Required maintenance commences. Internal struggle. Nearly derailed everything. Potential damage to innocent neighbors. Until Margaret reminded me. Temporary flooding versus permanent community destruction. Sometimes you break eggs to save farm. Tech specs. Engineered perfect. Dam capacity. 2.8 meters gal at dangerous level. Max safe release. 5 OK gallon per hour. Flood. Duration. 3 to 4 hours for full party coverage. Expected depth. 6 to 18 inches in zone. Expensive mess. Not dangerous disaster. Research revealed perfect irony. Patricia's party theme. Waterfront elegance. Installed wooden dance floors over grass. White fabric pavilions. Delicate catering gear at lowest elevation. Promised investors. Exclusive lakefront opportunities. Moral framework crystallized around. Emily's memory. Standing in her memorial garden. Explained plan to headstone. Scent of her favorite lavender-filled air. She'd want me to protect neighbors from exploitation, I whispered, touching her ring. Community benefit angle crucial for media. Use attention to educate about conservation. Propose neighborhood rain systems. Establish engineering scholarship in Emily's name. This wasn't destruction. It was community protection with educational value. Margaret's coffee brewed during late-night sessions. Perfect atmosphere for conspiracy. Papers rustled as we studied precedents. Tom quietly explained flood management. My hands traced drainage patterns. Elena verified county notices. Security. Cams captured Patricia's elaborate prep. White tents rising like targets. Catering trucks arriving with fragile gear. Lighting rigs in areas underwater by 4 p.m. She has no idea what's coming downstream. I murmured through binoculars. Woman literally setting up own destruction while planning mine. Friday evening. Final ritual. Visited Emily's grave. Sunset painted Rockies gold. Purple. Cool mountain air. Carried scent of pine and possibility. Asked for strength to do right by. Community. Tomorrow they learn what water really means, I promised, feeling weight of legal authority and moral duty. Stage perfectly set for demo of real water pressure. Patricia's panic hit. Thursday eve when she saw my damn notice posted at community center. Crisp white paper with county letterhead equals death warrant for investor pitch. By Friday morn she called emergency HOA and meeting. Desperation of empire crumbling. Gregory researched emergency injunctions. Frantically expensive cologne mixing with panic. Sweat, but Colorado courts don't issue restraining orders against constitutionally protected water rights. Lesson. His law degree never covered. At 6 Friday. Gregory served me emergency cease and desist, legal weight of grocery coupon, thick paper couldn't hide truth. No court stops required infrastructure maintenance, especially with 72-hour notice. This constitutes willful property destruction. Gregory threatened, voice cracking. We'll file criminal charges for premeditated flooding, terrorism. Bribery attempt came Friday afternoon. Patricia arrived at door, makeup smudged. Blazer wrinkled, hands shaking, offered $25,000 cash to postpone work just 1 week. You can withdraw all violations, drop foreclosure. I'll even apologize publicly, she babbled. Floral perfume unable to mask metallic fear. Security cams captured every word, essentially confessing all prior actions were bogus harassment. Community pressure campaign reached hysterical levels. Mass emails warning of domestic terrorism disguised as maintenance. Social media posts calling me unstable veteran seeking revenge. Encouraged people to call police about premeditated property destruction, while her son caught on cam trying to vandalize dam gear Thursday night. Tyler plus 2 friends tried disabling gates with bolt cutters, spray paint. Metallic grinding echoed as teen criminals followed. Mommy's orders, sheriff's deputies arrived within. Minutes. Trespassing, vandalism, tampering with critical infrastructure equals serious felonies. Gregory's attempt to drop charges revealed more corruption. Boys didn't understand. Danger, he pleaded, while footage showed Tyler getting instructions via earpiece. 3 generations of Langleys sharing same criminal DNA, Friday's media manipulation backfired spectacularly. Patricia scheduled press conf claiming, I was unstable veteran targeting innocent neighbors with environmental terrorism, but reporters already researched Colorado water law after my Thursday briefing. Her emotional appeals couldn't overcome constitutional facts plus engineering necessity. I maintained perfect public composure while final prep proceeded military precise. Tom's crew staged equipment near dam. Fry morn, professional coordination versus Patricia's amateur panic. County dam inspector arrived, confirmed immediate maintenance legally required due to dangerous pressure from snowmelt. Inspection revelation equals beautiful irony. Inspector Ramirez issued official order. Neglecting maintenance equals criminal negligence. Mr. Mercer isn't choosing to flood anything. He's preventing catastrophic failure. Elena's M's coordination flawless. County officials thought routine work because it was professional. Water management deserved professional response. Margaret accompanied me to Gregory's office. Fry afternoon. Her legal docs made him visibly sweat through suit. You can't use restraining orders to prevent legal obligations, she explained patiently. Gregory realized entire strategy built on constitutional quicksand. Community awakening accelerated beyond Patricia's control. 17 neighbors now actively supported my rights assertion after discovering their own harassment evidence. Fry Eve gathering at Tom's garage revealed targeting patterns looked like neighborhood revolution. Sensory buildup perfect. Wind through pines made dam water lap higher. Mountain snowmelt scent mixed with Patricia's party chaos visible across floodplain. My hands steady on controls during final inspection while party spotlights illuminated tomorrow's disaster zone. Final legal protection ironclad. Margaret filed docs with every authority, insurance notified, law enforcement briefed. Every liability concern addressed professionally. FR 11 p.m. Watched Patricia's crew installing final tent components in flood path. Work lights created surreal theater of approaching justice. Weather forecast confirmed clear skies. Tomorrow's lesson equals unforgettable Saturday morn, crystal clear skies. Mountain air electric with possibility. Rose at dawn. Check dam one last time. Felt 2.8 meters gal pressing against century-old engineering. Water level critical max. Delaying maintenance risked catastrophic failure obliterating neighborhood. Tom's crew arrived. 8 a.m. Flood management gear gleaming like surgical tools in sunlight. Margaret brought final legal docs. Manila folders thick with constitutional authority. No HOA lawyer could challenge. Crisp mountain air carried scent of pine needles plus approaching justice. Patricia's final prep visible from kitchen window. Caterers arrived 9 a.m. $15,000. Delicate setup, white silk pavilions erected directly over seasonal flood route equals elegant targets. Expensive sound gear at lowest elevation equals first casualty of water education. Everything must be perfect for investors. Patricia's voice carried across floodplain as she directed crystal stemware placement. Designer heels clicked on temporary wooden flooring, soon floating by 4P.M. Environmental reporter. Lisa Chun arrived 10 a.m. for scheduled interview. Camera crew positioned on high ground, perfect views of dam. Opwas potty prep, metallic click of pro photography equals justice finding voice through media. Elena coordinated final resident safety with military precision. Families with kids evacuated to shopping center for precautionary activities, elderly moved to community center for emergency prep. DeMoss. Tom posted volunteers at key observation points, radios linking every position. Margaret's legal docs bulletproof. Final papers filed with county complete liability protection. Sheriff's Department acknowledged legitimate ops. Every legal challenge anticipated, plus neutralized. Pro flow meters installed. Overnight, documented controlled release rates for future proceedings. Emergency shutoff systems tested perfectly at dawn. Medical personnel staged at community center, ready for injuries. Though flood depth barely knee-high, ironic timing coordination equals poetry in motion. Patricia's investor. Pitch, 4 to 5 p.m. Waterfront development opportunities. My maintenance window, 3 to 6 p.m. Required pressure relief, perfect overlap for max educational impact. Who controls neighborhood water? Gregory's final desperate gambit arrived. 10 a.m. Emergency court order. Turned out completely fabricated. No judge available. Sut. Legitimate courts don't issue restraining orders against constitutional water rights anyway. His law degree never covered. Difference between real authority plus wishful thinking. Community momentum beautiful. Asterisk neighbors arrived at observation points by 2 p.m. Mix of supporters plus concerned residents needing education. Local enviro groups documented historic enforcement of Prior Appropriation Doctrine. Sensory details intensified as 0 hour neared. String quartet tuning instruments in pavilion below. Haunting melodies soon drowned by rushing water. Expensive catering aromas. Mixed with mountain air. Champagne glasses arranged in precise rows across flood zone. Sunlight glinted off crystal silver, like diamonds marking targets. County Inspector Ramirez gave final tech off at 2:45 p.m. Dam requires immediate pressure relief for public safety, he announced to media. This is required maintenance, not optional property. MGMT. Official statement protected us from legal challenges. Standing at manual controls. Emily's ring around neck, moral framework crystal clear. This wasn't revenge. It was education. Respecting rights plus fulfilling legal obligations, protecting everyone's safety. Margaret's convo with Ramirez confirmed what my engineering knew. Earthen dams need annual cycles to prevent catastrophic failure. Alternative to controlled flooding equals uncontrolled collapse, destroying lives instead of party gear. Reporter Chen captured perfect soundbite. Water law protects communities from exploitation by establishing constitutional priorities no private org can override. Tech education wrapped in accessible language for viewers unfamiliar with prior appropriation. Final countdown. Military precision. 2:55 p.m. All safety systems confirmed operational. 2:58 p.m. Last visual confirmation. Patricia greeting Denver investors in flood zone below. 2:59 p.m. Hands steady on century-old controls. Exactly 3 p.m. Began required maintenance, changing everything. 3 p.m. exactly. Turned. Release valves with ceremonial precision. Metallic grind of century-old steel echoed across. Valley like church bell announcing justice. 5 OK gallon per hour began flowing. Downstream, deep rumble of controlled power making engineer soul sing. Reporter June's camera captured tech operation plus approaching wall of mountain water. Beginning required dam maintenance. For structural safety, I announced into mic, voice steady as granite. This is legally mandated infrastructure work, not personal retaliation. 3:15 p.m. Party guests noticed unusual water sounds through pines. Champagne convos paused as distant rumble grew louder. Patricia dismissed concerns with nervous laugh. Just decorative fountain cycling. Nothing to worry about, gentlemen. Investors admired enhanced water features, while Patricia presented. Tom spotters radioed. Water entering flood plain on schedule. Depth increasing steadily. 3:20 p.m. First water reached party area, gentle stream around pavilion edges. Crystalline flow creating temporary creeks through manicured grass. Caterers noticed dampness under buffets, white uniforms. Absorbing moisture. String quartet kept playing Mozart as water lapped at instrument cases like incoming tide. Patricia remained in denial, voice rising octave. Minor irrigation overflow. Water features simply more robust than expected. 3:25 p.m. Depth hit 4 inches. Inevitability of natural law. White silk draping wicking moisture upward. Abstract. Watercolor patterns as expensive fabric absorbed flood. Investors lifted Italian leather shoes, asking pointed. Cues about evacuation. Patricia frantically dialed Gregory. Stop this immediately. This is deliberate terrorism, not maintenance. 3:30 p.m. Flood arrived earnest, depth 8 inches plus rising steadily. Catering tables floated like elegant boats, $15,000. Gourmet spread scattering across flood plain. Sound equipment sparked, fizzled, electrical pops punctuating. Patricia's panic. Guests fled to higher ground in designer clothes. Champagne glasses. Abandoned, reflecting party lights like scattered diamonds. Seen simultaneously beautiful plus satisfying nature. Reclaiming artificial elegance with constitutional authority. 3:35 p.m. Reporter Chun live narrated water law enforcement. What we're witnessing is enforcement of century-old water rights, superseding all private property agreements, including HOA covenants. Camera captured Patricia ankle-deep, screaming at departing investors more interested in dry land than real estate, white blazer soaked, designer heels ruined, entire development scheme drowning in mountain snow. 3:40 p.m. Arrived at flood observation point with megaphone. This is controlled maintenance of critical infrastructure, my voice carried across water with engineering authority. Alternative equals catastrophic dam failure destroying entire community. Margaret stood beside me, legal docs radiating confidence, no HOA. Harassment could challenge. Tom supervised emergency gear. Elena coordinated with county officials confirming legitimacy. 3:45 p.m. Confrontation. Everyone waited for. Patricia stormed uphill, soaking wet, furious beyond rational thought, facade dissolving like makeup. Gregory followed with useless fake papers, visual metaphor for corrupt authority meeting constitutional bedrock. Live media captured historic moment. President versus constitutional water rights holder to 50 witnesses plus pro documentation proving who controlled resources. You've destroyed everything. Patricia shrieked, water dripping from ruined clothes. This is criminal terrorism. No, ma'am, I replied calmly. This is required dam maintenance, perfectly legal under Colorado constitutional law. Gregory waved papers like surrender flags. We have court orders. Fabricated documents, Margaret stated precisely. No legitimate court issues restraining orders against constitutional water rights. Crowd murmured approval. Truth overwhelming manipulation. Reporter Chun captured every word. Inspector Ramirez confirmed necessity. Ladies and gentlemen, I announced to cameras plus neighbors, this demonstrates why water rights matter. Constitutional protections exist to prevent exactly this kind of systematic exploitation. 3:50 p.m., mic drop moment. Prior appropriation means first in time. First in right, my water rights are senior to your property schemes, your HOA harassment, your criminal sabotage. This is what happens when you mess with constitutional law. Flood continued rising around her ankles. Justice flowed downstream. By 6 p.m. Controlled flood receded. Left soggy pavilions, waterlogged catering gear. Complete destruction of Patricia's development dreams. Denver investors departed rental cars, Italian leather shoes squelching, promising never to return calls about Cedar Ridge commercial development. Immediate aftermath exceeded hopes. Gregory faced Colorado Bar Association ethics violations, ended legal career within months. Tyler's vandalism charges gives. Community service maintaining dam he tried sabotaging, most satisfying. Patricia's real. A state license permanently revoked for systematic harassment plus fraudulent threats. Margaret's docs proved total legal protection. Every action constitutionally authorized, properly noticed. Professionally executed, county officials praised exemplary infrastructure, maintenance preventing catastrophic failure, insurance, paid damages without question. We followed all requirements perfectly. Community transformation revolutionary. Within 2 weeks. 17 neighbors filed harassment complaints, gives complete HOA board restructuring. Tom Kellerman became president, platform, constitutional rights plus community protection. Elena Ruiz serves as secretary, ensuring future votes meet legal standards. Margaret established Cedar Ridge Constitutional Rights Clinic in her dining room, free legal aid fighting HOA overreach. Our case became gold standard for property rights protection. Lawyers from 3 states studying our methods. Environmental legacy honors Emily perfectly. Colorado State Univ partnered to create Emily Mercer Water Rights Education Center, where engineering students study constitutional law applied to community protection. Scholarship fund already. Supported 5 students defending water rights from exploitation. 6 months later, Patricia appeared at my door, humbled, bankrupt, working at Garden Center after losing everything to greed. You saved me from becoming a monster, she said quietly. Thank you for stopping me before I destroyed more lives. Even former enemies find redemption through constitutional education. Ripple effects spread nationwide. Our story inspired communities researching their own rights, resisting systematic harassment, legislative Hearings cited our case strengthening property owner protections. 5 states introduced Prior Appropriation Protection Acts, preventing HOA interference with constitutional rights. Today, my garden produces 400 lbs monthly for food bank. Emily's dream flourishing beyond imagination. Every tomato grown, every pepper harvested proves protecting individual rights strengthens entire communities. Dam requires annual maintenance, now performed with community celebration. Not resistance. School kids visit during field trips, learning water cycles, constitutional law, how individual courage protects freedom. Floodplain became outdoor classroom, democracy demonstrating enduring power. But this story isn't unique across America. Ordinary people face battles against petty tyrants drunk on imaginary authority. Next week, Maria's story, how she used adverse possession law to reclaim stolen driveway from HOA, thinking property theft legal. Spoiler: constitutional law has beautiful surprises for bullies who don't do homework. Standing in Emily's memorial garden tonight, stars emerging over. Rockies, feel her presence in every growing thing. We protected community. Honored constitutional law. Created institutions serving future generations. Water always finds its level. So does justice, and sometimes both arrive with unstoppable force of natural law, washing away corruption to nourish new growth. Drop your wildest HOA nightmare in comments. Let's see who's fighting most ridiculous petty tyrants. Your story might feature an upcoming episode. Smash subscribe button for HOA stories. Join thousands learning how constitutional knowledge defeats neighborhood corruption. Knowledge is power. Power flows to those brave enough to use it. Remember, they can't steal what they don't understand you own. That's all for today's HOA madness. If watching Justice Serve Itself made your day, smash like button, share thoughts below, make sure subscribed. More outrageous neighborhood showdowns just around corner. USA-based, real stakes, real rights, real victory.